Did James McHenry attend Alexander Hamilton's wedding? What a silly question. Everyone knows he did. Ron Chernow writes, Hamilton had few people to invite to the wedding, except for James McHenry, Hamilton's friends on Washington's staff were too busy with wartime duties to attend. Brodus Mitchell even asserted that not only did McHenry attend the wedding, but he also served as Hamilton's best man. McHenry reportedly also penned a poem for the newlyweds, which is often cited as proof that he attended the wedding. The sole source for the story of James McHenry attending Hamilton's wedding and writing a poem to celebrate the occasion is Bernard C. Steiner's The Life and Correspondence of James McHenry, published in 1907. According to Steiner, in September 1780, Hamilton married General Philip Schuyler's daughter, and McHenry went to Albany for the wedding and wrote the following verses to his friend on the morning after the ceremony. So after sharing McHenry's poem, Steiner then included Hamilton's reply, thanking McHenry for the poetry. Neither McHenry's poem nor Hamilton's reply has been found since Steiner included them in his McHenry biography. So the only source for the contents and dates of these items is Steiner's book. According to Steiner, as noted, the wedding of Alexander Hamilton and Elizabeth Schuyler took place in September 1780. The poem, as printed by Steiner, is undated. Hamilton's reply to McHenry bears a date of September 12th with 1780 in brackets. In other words, Hamilton's reply is dated September 12th, but no year was written on the original document. Steiner apparently added the brackets 1780 because that is the year the wedding took place, and he thought the poem and reply were related to that event. Accordingly, if the year was not written on the reply and was added by Steiner, it is possible that the poem and Hamilton's reply were not written in 1780. As is well known, the wedding of Alexander Hamilton and Elizabeth Schuyler took place in Albany on December 14th, 1780, not in September 1780, as Bernard Steiner had written. If Hamilton wrote to McHenry on September 12th, 1780, or some other year, to thank him for his poetry, McHenry's verses have nothing to do with Hamilton's wedding. And if the poem has nothing to do with the wedding, no evidence was presented by Steiner or by anyone else placing McHenry at the wedding. Now, perhaps Steiner was correct about these two items being related to Hamilton's wedding, but simply gave the wrong date in his book. Indeed, the editors of the Papers of Alexander Hamilton asserted that Steiner, after stating that H. Hamilton was married in September 1780, incorrectly dates this letter September 12, 1780. This supposes that Steiner somehow misread or changed both the month and the day of Hamilton's letter. It requires ignoring the date of a letter that Steiner had in hand, but believing that the poem and reply were connected to the wedding, which Steiner had 3 months too early. Furthermore, neither the poem nor Hamilton's reply mentions the wedding. Hamilton did not even mention his new wife in his reply to McHenry. In other words, there is no evidence that McHenry's poem and Hamilton's reply have anything to do with the wedding. In fact, the available evidence, the date of September 1780, says that they had nothing to do with the wedding. Now, it's possible that Bernard Steiner had another source, which he didn't give. So even if McHenry's poem and Hamilton's reply had nothing to do with Hamilton's wedding, the story of McHenry attending Hamilton's wedding cannot be dismissed outright. So determining James McHenry's location on the date of Alexander Hamilton's wedding, December 14, 1780, would be the clearest way to settle this. If only it was that simple. Unfortunately, there are no extant letters written by James McHenry in the James McHenry papers at the Library of Congress on this date or for several weeks before or afterwards, nor have any drafts by him for Lafayette, for whom he served as an aide, been found for the period between September 1780 and January 1781. Other than the poem by McHenry and Hamilton's reply, there is no reference to McHenry during this period in Founders Online, which includes the correspondence of Washington, Hamilton, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and Franklin. Nor has anything been found about McHenry's whereabouts during this period in the writings of Nathaniel Greene, Lafayette, Philip Schuyler, John Jay, the delegates to Congress, and numerous other contemporaries. After several years and countless hours of searching through biographies of related persons, volumes of collected papers, contemporaneous newspapers, and library collections, here is the best information I've been able to collect so far regarding James McHenry's whereabouts around the time of Hamilton's wedding. James McHenry apparently was with Lafayette at the Light Camp near Tottawa on the Passaic in New Jersey on November 19, 1780. The Marquis de Chastellux, if I'm pronouncing that right, wrote that James McHenry traveled with him from the Light Camp to Washington's headquarters at the Day Mansion in Preakness, now Wayne, New Jersey, on November 23rd. And then McHenry was at Lafayette's headquarters in Morristown, New Jersey on December 28, 1780. No record has been found of McHenry traveling with Lafayette, Chastellux, and others to and from Philadelphia in November and December 1780, despite numerous accounts of this journey. On the other hand, nothing has been found placing McHenry with the Army in New York or New Jersey or traveling to Albany. In sum, nothing has been found regarding McHenry between November 23rd and December 28th, 1780. So without knowing James McHenry's location during this period, one cannot say with certainty whether or not he attended the wedding of Alexander Hamilton and Elizabeth Schuyler in Albany on December 14, 1780. While it cannot be proven that McHenry did not attend, there is no evidence he was there. Without any evidence to support the story, one must conclude that James McHenry probably did not attend the wedding. But if one wants to believe that he was there, one should probably write that McHenry possibly or reportedly attended a wedding, but should not present it as a certainty. Until someone finds some long-lost evidence regarding McHenry's whereabouts on the date of Hamilton's wedding, the uncertainty must remain.